Hello guys, in the last video we have checked Resident Evil 1.5 and we have seen what could have been. But what was there instead of it was Resident Evil 2. And this game was one of the best games that the world has ever seen. So, in today's video we will start the official Resident Evil 2 retrospective. With that said, I'm Daniel from Retro Haven and welcome to our channel. The end and the beginning. Drama for Resident Evil 2 was too much to handle for any team. Mikami wanted to end the Resident Evil series with Resident Evil 2 and believed that if you are going to build something everlasting, then you have to do it in a way it won't repeat time and time again. But Yoshiki Okamata, who was working as a supervisor of the project, was in exact opposite side of this approach and believed that the game should be a foundation for a long-lasting series. He defined the game series he had in his mind as a huge universe such as James Bond with a lot to explore in each game in future. The argument was real, but as you can see in the third decade of 21st century, the winner was Okamoto. The team finally gave up to Okamoto's vision and decided to set up an epic story that creates a more open-ended vision for future. The main goal of the game was selling 2 million copies in the end, and since they wanted to achieve this huge number while trying to make a story worthy of a long time series to come, they have hired Noboru Sugimaro. He was a professional and respected screenwriter and started work as a consultant to the writers. His first task was to identify the problems in Resident Evil 1.5 story and offering a solution to fix them. Soon, his vision started to make things so amazingly interesting that they hired him full-time and left the story completely in his care. The story got too big for a single disc, and the team decided to build a game on 2 different discs, one for each main character, and a new journey started for the development team. New approach. The team went back to the drawing board for some characters, but kept the rest almost the same, and just reassigned them to new roles. For example, the big guy John was reused as the weapon dealer for police forces in Raccoon City. They reduced his scope in this game as well. For the Birkin family, Sherry remained almost the same and his father did not change that much, but the appearance of Annette changed to make her more like a Hollywood star. The inspiration for her design was the superstar of that era, Jodie Foster. Elsa Walker was scrapped completely and instead of her, they brought Chris's sister. Her name was Claire and she was added to make things more connected to the previous games and make room for upcoming versions. The only thing that left from Elsa ashes for the Claire to pick up was interest in bike. For the cutscenes, there were no sign of cheesy movies, and they have opted for computer graphics. They wanted to make things cinematic, so they used action figures and stop motion animation. So as a result, there are 2 types of graphical outputs: in-game quality cutscenes and high quality full CG versions. In order to avoid the low quality of the voice actors in the previous entry, the team have tried multiple options. They had 10 candidates for each character, and the funny thing was that they were all from Canada. Finally, they put together a talented voice cast that is truly match the visuals of the game for each character. The only thing that they could not do as planned was Ada model. They could not finish her high quality version, and that's why in the whole game you will not see her in any of the high quality CG cutscenes, and she appears only inside the in-game graphic cutscenes. Another great change that the story and the environment faced was the host of the event, police station itself. Instead of a modern blue and industrial station we saw in RE 1.5, we see something change, something more gothic. The new police station was a museum that was later transformed into the police HQ. So the cryptic puzzles and the items were not out of the place, and they could bring back an amazing aspect of Resident Evil 1 without moving the boundaries out of the reason. Finally, the music for this game was left to Masami Ueda, Shusaku Uchiyama, and Seun Nishigaki. These guys were some of the most well-known names in the Japan's music. Of course, they did not all the tracks, and one of the tracks was composed by Naoshi Mizuta, but he did not receive the composer bidding for this game. and got only a special thanks section credit. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. The gameplay style almost stayed the same as RE1. The camera scheme, the controls, and the item management all remained the same. Since the graphic took a huge jump, all the new camera angles and backgrounds had a whole new feeling to them. The feeling of getting immersed in the world was translated way better than Resident Evil 1, and the new engine showed how well the static camera can work for such game. In the end, the animation was more fluid. Injuries affected your movement. Gun recoil was a lot more realistic. More guns and enemies were introduced, so everything felt fresher. But in the end, they did not fix what was not broken, and Resident Evil 2 remained one of the best examples of static camera and tank control in the history of video games. A warm reception. A huge amount of money were invested in this game, and some reports claim that the advertisement for Resident Evil 2 alone cost Capcom around $5 million. This amount seems to be huge, but the plan was to make the series into a new height, and this little maneuver worked well in the end. Finally, Resident Evil was released after some delays, and the PlayStation hosted one of the best games ever on the 21st day of January 1998. Soon, ports and extra versions got released for the game, and the final result was that the PlayStation version alone was just 250,000 shy of 6 million copies sold. The gamers' reception was amazing, and the critics loved it as well. For example, Metacritic gave this game 89 out of 100, which is still amazing today. In the end, this game ranked as the 14th most successful PlayStation 1 game in terms of sale. The final sales report showed that Resident Evil sold more than 6.1 million copies. The game is still ranked 6th in the Resident Evil series sale chart, and was the most successful Resident Evil game until Resident Evil 4 got the crown from it. So guys, we have covered the main aspects of the game, and we will go to more depth in the next videos. This retrospective series will continue once again, and we will have 10 parts for Resident Evil 2 just as we had for Resident Evil 1. If you have not seen our retrospective of Resident Evil 1, we suggest you to go and take a look at them. Well, thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you have seen, please subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and introduce us to your friends. We want to have a lot of awesome audiences such as yourself. There are a lot of other amazing videos that you can find here or down here. And please click on the bell icon so you get notified whenever we release a new video. With that said, this is Daniel from Retro Haven, and I will see you guys in the next video.